All right, good morning. Probably got about 20 seconds and we will get started. Okay, good morning. I am Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today is day 480 of me being live for 480 consecutive days. We are learning the 74 principles of real leadership, and we are under the topic of authentic. There are 12 principles of real leadership under authentic. We will be reviewing 6 today and 6 tomorrow to ensure that we are not 2 hours going over these principles. And with that being said, on your own, go ahead and inhale 3 times. Inhale and exhale 3 times to get the brain ready to receive this information. Okay. Good morning, Regina. So, again, the purpose of all of this is for you to be able to start making the connection of the 74 principles of real leadership so that you can start to use them in your day to day life. They are what leads you to your best. And by seeing them and me explaining them and then explaining how you can use them combined with your brain allows you to access your best. It also, what I find, is it gives you peace. Because as an adult, we've had to go through life and navigate through things, and everybody's operating under a different set of rules, under a different set of values, under a different set of religious beliefs and backgrounds and everything else. And so, until we start to all get on the same page, which is personal accountability, it creates conflict just because things are different somewhere else. And the purpose of real leadership is to bring us together to speak the same language. That does not mean that, oh, we are going to get along like berries and cherries, like Sheree from Housewives of Atlanta said. That's not the point. The point is to be able to exist in the world in a cohesive way that works for everybody without taking away from anybody. That's the whole point. Okay. Is it Friday? Okay, cool. Got it. Okay, perfect. So the point is this, ladies and gentlemen, that real leadership works. The 74 principles of real leadership works. And when people stop living in a hijacked amygdala state and they realize that all they have to do is get on the neural pathway bus to their frontal lobe, that they will then have the ability to become their best because they don't even understand that neurologically their amygdala is hijacked. So they wake up every day looking for a problem. And if you're looking for a problem, you're going to find one. But if you're looking for personal accountability and your best, you're going to have that as well. So I believe that there will be critical mass in my lifetime and people will start holding themselves personally accountable because best is the objective. Unaccountable people wake up looking for worst case scenario. And that's what they get every single day. See, I told you and I knew, and this is the reason why, and here's the problem with this. And they go to sleep unfulfilled and wake up tomorrow to do the same thing. And that's the definition of insanity. And it's easy to pick apart someone else. It's easy to pick apart someone else and what they're doing without ever looking in the mirror. Without ever looking in the mirror. And I spent, and I'll talk about this at the end of the live. We only had one appointment yesterday. So I spent about an hour and a half total on TikTok yesterday looking at people, just observing their video content and what they had to say. And the one thing that was amazing about everybody, the one thing that was, Angel, is there a reason why you're interrupting me right now? Time out, ladies and gentlemen. Time out. Good morning, Lola. If you're listening, we have two unaccountable people who've entered the chat. So if you hear me not speaking, must be something in the air this morning. Stupidity, and y'all inhaling it with a big old giant bong. So for the regulars this morning, go ahead and get your secondary device as well as your note-taking materials. Go ahead and go to the website. Okay. As I was mentioning, unaccountable people are always looking for a nice little dopamine boost, an adrenaline rush. And so, good morning, Linda. And so their whole thing is, let me go and fuck with somebody. Okay, cool. Got it. And then what? Then what? And then what? And then what? And then the next morning, and the next morning, and the next morning, and the next morning, to no avail. It's the most unfulfilling thing that you could ever do with your life. It's really just a poor choice to make. It's like eating cotton candy all day long, every day, and thinking that there will not be detrimental impacts to your health. It doesn't bode well. It's easy to do, it's neurologically depleting, and it happens consistently day in and day out. So, how do we eradicate this situation? We eradicate the situation by becoming personally accountable, day in and day out, seeking the best for yourself and those around you, your crew, your clique, whomever, your caste system. It happens. It happens in your community where you reside. That's where it takes place. It can't happen any other way. If there was another way, I would tell you, but it is in your communities where you reside. That's why it's so important to teach the 74 principles of real leadership. That is why it is so important for you to learn them, use them, hold yourself personally accountable, and then hold everybody else personally accountable that you interact with. And if those people don't want to be accountable, they can take their asses back to Loserville where the unaccountable people reside. That's where they can go. And that's what they can do. Because attempting to, oh, well, I'm going to be my best. I'm going to be my best, but I'm not going to hold anybody personally accountable because that's their choice. I was on live on Monday and somebody was saying, well, I'm just going to worry about me. I'm just going to worry about me and I'm not going to do anything else because people have their own free will. No, they don't. No, they don't. And that is the issue, is everyone has decided, well, they can do whatever they want. And that's why we have a world full of adults doing exactly what they want to do. And today is a perfect example of that. People are bored, so they have decided, let me go online and let me have some fun. Let me go disrupt something that's actually benefiting society. Let me go and mess with Dr. Donna this morning so I could go, ha ha ha, I messed with her live. That was funny. Let's go do this with somebody else's live. And YouTube's answer is just block them instead of making it just unacceptable. So in your communities, that's why you hold yourself personally accountable. Kevin, you had to block your aunt the other day because she called you, texted you drunk. Anybody that's sitting here right now, I'm not taking questions right now. You can, if you decide to stay, then you can ask your questions at the end. If you disrupt me again, you will be removed from this live. Don't type anything else until I ask you something. You will be removed. So as I was saying, personal unaccountability is rampant this morning. It is rampant this morning, and I can only imagine that something took place in America and in the world for people to feel like this was an option for them. And it's also a form of rebellion. So when you feel like you don't have any other outlet, you go and release your outlet to what you think is the path of least resistance. So you go and find an unworthy opponent to go and pick on. So if something negative is happening to you, you then turn around and pay it forward to some other unsuspecting person because of your inability to hold yourself personally accountable and then hold the others personally accountable around you. So this is, it starts at the top and then it's just a trickle down effect. And unfortunately, we are having a slight experience with that this morning, but security is here. So with that being said, make sure you're at my website, theturnarounddoctor.com. Go to the 74 Principles of Real Leadership. And when you are there, go ahead and give me a thumbs up to let me know that you are there. theturnarounddoctor.com, and then you're going to the 74 Principles of Real Leadership and scroll down to Authentic. Today we will be reviewing the first 6. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Regina. And just as a friendly reminder this morning, ... before you start answering questions or replying to the questions that I have for you. I'm sure Nola will be soon following. I was having a conversation with her before I went live. So authentic. Authentic entails being genuine and honest. It means taking the hard right over the easy wrong and never compromise your belief system or integrity to achieve a goal or to win. It entails being genuine and honest. Being genuine and honest. It means taking the hard right over the easy wrong and never compromise your belief system or integrity to achieve a goal or to win. This is where the majority of the adult population taps out. Taking the hard right over the easy wrong. That is one of the most, other than being a parent, taking the hard right over the easy wrong is the most challenging thing that you will ever do in your life, because it means being the bigger person. It means doing the right thing, even if it is benefiting people who are doing wrong. That's what it means. It means doing the right thing. I'll give you an example. If we go to a client's house and they haven't cleaned up the room enough for us to do everything, it's kind of noisy, and they're not the best client in the world, we still put everything together. We still do second mile service and go above and beyond. And when we get back to my daughter's vehicle, we thumbs down them so we'll never have to see them again. Because the right thing to do is to keep your word. So if we have said, yes, we are coming to assemble, to mount, to organize, to do whatever it is that you agreed to do, we will do that. And we will never come back to this place again. We won't break your shit. We won't tear up something. We won't damage it. We won't say, oh, some parts are missing, and take parts with us and say, figure that shit out, because that's wrong. The hard right over the easy wrong is this. You have to do the right thing no matter what, because of being personally accountable. Because you're going to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, independent of what anybody else is doing. So we have had about 8 unaccountable people in my live this morning, and the right thing to do is to hold them accountable, to ensure they don't have access to this channel, but to still give you your lesson this morning because you woke up ready to learn about the 74 Principles of Real Leadership. So that's the hard part. In addition to that is, don't compromise your belief system or your integrity. I have been in rooms where people have asked me to compromise my integrity, and I'm like, look, y'all can take all this shit. I'm good. I'm out. I've been poor before. I know how to put some cheese on ramen noodles. But this shit right here, not me. I'm not going to jail for y'all. Absolutely not. I ain't taking nobody's years. I'm the only African American in this room. I know who about to get who about to get this shit pinned on them. Not me. Not my name. Not my signature. No, 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 no. I'm out. Y'all do what y'all got to do, but I'm out. Not happening. Well, the numbers are the numbers. If you want to see different numbers, then give me some more time. But these are the numbers. Not changing, not signing, not fudging, not taking out. I'm not doing that. That's not about to take place. So do not compromise your integrity and your belief systems, or your integrity or your belief systems, so you can win or accomplish your goal. All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. I've talked about Faustian bargains before. Kevin has looked it up. Don't enter into a Faustian bargain and then try to bargain your way out of it. Absolutely not. Be honest. And what is for you is for you. It's got your name on it, and it ain't for nobody else. Because when you start, it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. One Faustian bargain leads to many Faustian bargains. One Faustian bargain leads to many Faustian bargains. That's how that happens. And then you just enter into so many, you don't even recognize yourself no more. That's why when you come home, you got to tie one on, because the reality of looking at yourself in the mirror is too much for you. So you do everything you can. Alter your appearance, might change your name, changes you. Oh, I don't do that anymore. Oh, no, I don't do that anymore. Yeah, you don't tell the truth, you don't live the truth, and you ain't honest no more. But nice house, nice car, nice vacation home. Yeah, nice marriage. Right. All of that. So absolutely not. Don't compromise your belief system and your integrity for a goal or win. A goal or win. And that's part of the reason why people are like, how you do all that? You must be cheating. How that don't even make no sense. That ain't even possible. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's possible to create 10,700 YouTube videos and don't talk about nobody else. Don't do no trending topics, no what's popping, no none of that. It's possible. I've done it. Am doing it. So when you look at me, if you want to look at the checklist, well, she doesn't have 1 million followers, and look at this, and then she didn't do this, and she's not talking about it on purpose. Because of this right here, be authentic. Be authentic. Okay? So number 1 on the list is be honest. Be honest. Be honest. People that hold themselves personally accountable are honest. I tell y'all a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And I'm not concerned with, oh my God, what are they going to think about me? Because I told them I got married and I got dragged, and because it happened. It's the truth. I ain't the only person that got married and spouse cheated on them, and then you had to recover and move back home and figure shit out. I'm not the only person, but I'm one of the very few that will admit what happened. I was 50% complicit in all of that. So be honest. Be honest about everything. If I'm on here having a hot flash, I'm having a hot flash. I am perimenopausal. 3 more months, I should be in menopause, and I'm going to be sweating for about another 7 years. So be it. That's my truth. If that bothers you, then it sucks to be you. Because this is the issue. Authenticity is why we can't get nothing done in the world. People are chicken shit when it comes to being themselves. They're real good at showing their representative to the world. Very good at it. Tell somebody to be honest, you gonna have a problem. People ain't trying to dig up that. Shame is a weapon. No, because I this is who I am. Okay, cool. Who was you before this? Let's see the original photo. I tell you, my daughter and I go to appointments, and then we see the people online. I'm like, who the hell is that? That's not whose house. That's them. Roger that. Roger that. They got some David Copperfield stuff going on. David Copperfield stuff going on. So something must be in the air, ladies and gentlemen, because I do believe that that's the 10th person that has to be removed from my channel. Okay? So now be honest. Be honest. Be honest. If you ain't going to do nothing else with the rest of your life, live an honest life. A 100% authentic life. Do not allow anything that has happened to you in your past shame you from being the real 100% you. Because let me tell you something. All that stuff that happened was because of unaccountable people. And they want you to feel bad about it, so you will make sure everybody still think they lying and they are who they say they are. So that's why they don't want you to tell the truth. because now they got to live their truth. And whew, heavens to Bessie if they do that. Number 2, treat people with dignity and respect. Treat people with dignity and respect. Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, Dr. Donna, why do you go ham on trolls? Don't start none, won't be none. I don't go to anybody's live talking shit. Nobody's. I don't attend. I don't go to people's stuff, throwing things down, throwing shade in the comments. I don't do that. But if you come over here, there's air and opportunity. If you feeling froggy, leap, and you're going to get knocked out the air on your way back to Loserville. That's what's going to happen to you. I don't turn the other cheek if you're coming over here. I'm not going, oh, it's okay. I just said, I'm sorry. Because unaccountable people are banking on that. I treat people with dignity and respect until they start demonstrating disrespect. And now I'm going to match your level to remove you from my situation, because you don't have to be over here. You don't have to come to my lives. You don't have to participate in anything. But if you do, and you decide that disrespect is on the menu for you, then hey, you're going to get some back. Because people are not expecting, well, I can do whatever I want. I can say disinhibition effect has caused people online to become thumb thugs. And what I will not tolerate is not being treated with dignity and respect. That's not something that I'm going to do ever. Don't start none, won't be none. Okay? So you treat people with dignity and respect. And when they're real leaders, we can agree to disagree. Kevin, it loves wine and he makes bourbon. I don't drink. I'm not disrespecting Kevin because I came from a long line of alcoholics and druggies. Linda likes to have a glass of wine, if I'm not mistaken. I ain't like, what you doing drinking? You shouldn't be drinking it. No. I'm like, wow, that's great. You just came back from Napa Valley with your family, had a great trip. I didn't say, well, that's the devil's wine and you're going to go to hell for that. I didn't say that. I said, there are people who can drink responsibly. Go ahead. If you want a glass of wine with your meal, go right ahead. I know my family can't do that. I ain't trying to find out no more. So you treat people with dignity and respect. And if they're different than you, then you ask questions. That's it. People get to be different. We all got different DNA. We all got different fingerprints. And now we gonna make you feel bad, disrespect you because you're different than me. 10 people came over here because they weren't used to what I'm doing. And so they decided I'm gonna fuck with her. For what? I'm over here minding my own business. Minding my own business, teaching the people here that want to learn how to hold themselves personally accountable. And here the unaccountables come. Why? Because they're looking for drama in all the wrong places. So treat people with dignity and respect. And at the end of the day, they can get blocked and reported. Thank you, YouTube. Number 3, look people in the eye when you talk to them. And I know some cultures that's not acceptable. Why not? That's disrespectful. Why? It's a form of communication. It is a form of communication. I'm just looking at you. You have my full attention. I'm looking at you to let you know that I'm speaking to you. Shifty people doing this, looking all around. Hey, what's up? And I don't trust it. It's the cop in me. It's the hood in me. Like, why you can't look me in my face? What's happening? What's going on? So look people in the eye when you talk to them and when they're talking to you, because there is an exchange taking place. It's an effective form of communication. So somebody can't look you in the eye, especially when it's time to do deals. Guess what you do? Yeah, it's a no for me. I'm good. I'm out. I can't trust this. If you can't look me in my eye and give me a handshake and give me your word, there's going to be problems. I've never, ever entered into something where people couldn't look me in the eye and it went great. Never happened. Never, ever happened. Okay. Number 4, you want to empower others. I empower you every day to become your best. Every single day I wake up, my content, and when I'm interacting with people in person, it is empowerment every day. Why? Because as adults, we don't empower each other. We know anybody that's been in the 30-day PA challenge, you know how I feel about motivation and inspiration and how it's a very lucrative business. Ineffective as hell, but monetarily, you can get that paper, that Gouda, them narrows, that bread, stacks on stacks on stacks. No results, but a lot of doggone money being exchanged. Empowerment, however, is different. When you empower somebody, it gives them power, and then they get to tap into their own power. And now they get to use it as fuel every day to become their best. And then you empower others and you empower others. And now we have a group of empowered people focused on the number one objective of personal accountability, which is to be the best. Be the best. We've had 11 people demonstrate that they are not focused on best this morning. They are not focused on best. They are focused on worst. And that's a great lesson to have as well. And notice when they enter the chat, how it feels. Automatically, it's disruptive. It's like, why are you letting that happen, Dr. Donna? Because it hasn't happened in a minute at this magnitude before or here recently. And it's because it's happening in your life. It's disrupting you. So just get rid of them. Just get rid of them. Then you just get rid of them in your life. I'm empowering you to do the same thing that you see me doing. Somebody disrupting your peace, trying to distract you, trying to stop your focus, they got to go. Block. Adios. Bye-bye. Auf Wiedersehen. That's what you do. You have the right, especially from a personal perspective. Nobody deserves to have just access, unlimited access to you causing problems just because. Absolutely not. Because it's taking you out of your frontal lobe, putting you in your amygdala, and causing you to be extremely emotional. So you will not have inhibition control and you will do something or say something that you will later regret. It's neurological. It's neurological, and that's what they're hoping. I need to get a reaction out of you. Fight, flight, freeze, or appease. And I am empowering you to stay in your frontal lobe, to pause, to count, to think about what is taking place, and give yourself time to say, this person right here or persons are attempting to hijack my amygdala, and the answer is no. So I am empowering you to stop the nonsense, to stop the antics of unaccountable people just because there's more of them, just because the number of unaccountable people where you are. They don't have to remain there. They don't. If you are at an establishment, a restaurant, a store, and you start misbehaving, they escort you out of there. So your life is no different. If people are not treating you with dignity and respect, you are empowered from this day forward. So long, sucker, see you later, bye-bye, baby. Absolutely not. Kick rocks. Miss me with that nonsense and that bullshit. Empower yourself and then empower others. Because when people around you start holding themselves personally accountable too, it's best. And I cannot describe it to you. You have to do it for yourself. You have to do it for yourself. And you feel different. When you walk into personally accountable environments, it's empowering because everybody is focused on their best. They're not trying to take you out. They're not trying to manipulate you. They're not trying to get something for nothing. They have so much energy to give that they can give you information that you need. It's this exchange. And then you all go off and do great and amazing things. So empower others. Number 5, establish trust and be trustworthy. If you are not honest, if you are not authentic, you're not going to be able to establish trust with nobody. Nobody. I've had people that I've worked with like, nah, don't want you in my foxhole. I know you ain't got my 6. I'm good. I'm out. Don't trust you. Commanders in the military, supervisors while I was in corporate America, people here in Las Vegas trying to do business deals. Nah, I don't trust you. And in order to establish trust, you got to be trustworthy. So if you're not trustworthy, then nobody's going to trust you. And how do you establish trust? You keep your word, and that's coming tomorrow. You keep your word, and be who you say you are. Okay? Be who you say you are. That's why I tell people, go see my credentials. Go. They over there on LinkedIn, about 80% of them. About 80% of them. Because I'm trustworthy. Okay? Because I'm telling you the damn truth. I ain't got time to lie. I don't have no reason to lie. I have no reason to lie. Somebody has said something again. It must really be something taking place in the news. Y'all know we don't have television, so I have no idea what's taking place. But that has to be the 12th person, if I'm counting correctly. So establish trust and be trustworthy. You have to be trustworthy if you're going to be authentic. That means trust yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, you got personal work to do. So in your personal time on a daily basis, start to develop a trusting relationship with yourself. Now, here's the other thing that I will say. Don't just be handing out your trust all willy-nilly like it's samples at Costco. Because just like respect, trust is earned. Trust is earned. I do it this way. Part-time employees at Frito-Lay had 90 days of a probationary period. And what I have found is that people can fake it up until about day 80. And between day 80 and day 89, because by then I could fire them and say this ain't going to work out. By day 90, they're in the system and they're permanent part-time. But between day 80 and day 89, who they is will show up. unless they are just an amazing grifter and liar. Between day 80 and day 89, you are going to find out who they actually are. So as you meet new people, give them 90 days. Just give them 90 days and let them be themselves. Let them do everything, and you are just gathering data to see if that initial meeting matches the words coming out of their mouth. And if it does, hey, now you can start to give them some more trust. Now you can start to give them some more trust. Now you have the ability to enter into a more permanent situation. So don't enter into any business deals, anything serious until after those 90 days are up. And if people say, well, I can't get, I don't have time, I have 90 days. Okay, cool. The answer is no, because that's what I'm going to need. I'm going to need 90 days to wait and see. And then from there, we can start to go in a forward trajectory. And then finally, number 6, say thank you and actually mean it. Say thank you. People say today, they say, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But genuinely say, thank you. Man, I really appreciate you. Thank you. Say it at the clerk at the 7-Eleven. I know I always use 7-Eleven. We go to 7-Eleven. That's where Noah gets most of the gas from. I forgot the dyno thing for the gas. Thank you. Thank you. 2 words mean a lot. 2 people. Thank you. I've said this. I do this all the time. I tip people. Anytime I have cash, I tip people who don't normally get tips. The person bringing the buggies in the grocery store. Okay? The cashier, the people at the small place. And I know that they tell you that you got a tip at the baristas, but I'm saying it's separate from, hey, you want a tip? No, here's some cash. That tip thing, even at Yogurtland, they take money. Once you put that tip in there, now they're taking a percentage of your tips. It's insane. But just say thank you. Thank you. Thank you and mean it, because people are doing things to help you. Your children's teacher, they're a good teacher. Don't wait till Teacher Appreciation Day. Don't the person servicing your car, changing the oil in your car, whatever, just thank you. All of these people in your everyday life that make things better for you, thank you. I appreciate you. I value the work that you do. You will be shocked at how much people are like, oh my God, thank you so much. I just appreciate it. We stopped going to self-checkout. Start going back to the cashiers at the grocery stores. And those old school cashiers got the best customer service. They tell you about stuff, do all kind of things. And next thing you know, hey, good experience. And then you have this amazing customer experience that you wouldn't have with one person trying to check on 5 to 6 to 12 different people. That doesn't work. So thank you very much. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Say it to when there are times when Nola cleans up the kitchen. I wake up the next morning, thank you for cleaning up the kitchen. Even though that's a rule in our house to do, she still did it. So I can still say thank you for that. When I make dinner, she's like, oh, ma'am, thank you. Food was so good. Because it matters. You've taken time out of your life to do something, and people need to say thank you, because you're not going to get that time back. You're not going to get that experience back. So say thank you. So now we are 33 minutes in, and about 7 of those minutes was on unaccountable people. What questions do you have about the 6 principles of authenticity and real leadership that I've gone over this morning? Be honest. Treat people with dignity and respect. Look people in the eye when you speak to them or talk to them. Empowers others, establish trust and be trustworthy, and say thank you. And I see Regina and Kevin are thinking. You'll hear my arthritis in my shoulder crack. I got arthritis. The brothers. They're part of siblings, Polly and Esther. Okay, they are aligned in a planet parade. Okay? Is that the equivalent to Mercury being in retrograde for technical stuff? That means if you're having a bunch of technical problems, Mercury is in retrograde, so it's going backwards. And this rarely happens. Okay. So everybody will be FA and FOing today with me. Got it. Thank you for that, Regina. Yes, Kevin, I have. I have found the correlation with that. And so what happens between those days is that people are ending their third consecutive challenge. And and so what happens is the body gets lethargic. Now, if you think about it from this perspective, all the seasons are 90 days thereabouts. And so the seasons change. So you have four of those cycles. And then if you think of any time you're talking about profit and loss statements, quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. So you have been trained in that regard. And then there's certain holidays that happen. So people can go June, July, and August better than they can do October, November, and December. So if you do those months, because it's summer, there's no holidays in August. You sitting there with 4th of July and Labor Day, and that's it. So those non-purchasing, really one-day holidays, people do better. But when you come around to October, November, December, now everybody's like, well, it's the end of the year. I'm gonna just put it off. I'm gonna just start in January. Everybody starts shutting down. But that 90-day mark is, but if you can get to that fourth challenge, that fourth consecutive challenge, then it will allow you to make it through. But those first three, because people are good on the first and second one, by the third one, you're getting tired. You're like, I got to keep doing this every day. That every day, because even if you work, you don't work every day. Very few people work every day consecutively for 90 days without a vacation, without a day off, or any of that. Thank you, Regina. I appreciate that. So it is in that 80 to 89 day window, but it's happening because of the calendar and then the time of year and the holidays associated with that. So people want to take a break. You have school break, you have summer break, you get 2 to 4 weeks of vacation, depending on where you work. Sometimes it might be longer. In the military, you get 30 days leave, if not more. Once you get to 60 days, you get use or lose. So people are accustomed to taking a break. And so I want to take a break. I want to take a break. But your brain doesn't get a break. Your heart doesn't get a break. Your lungs don't get a break. So a break from what? You want me to tell you it's okay to take a break from being personally accountable. That's what people want. And I'm like, that's not how this works. It's not. It's like a person that's in recovery. You can't drink. You are recovering for the rest of your life. You're not like, yeah, I've been clean and sober for 90 days. I'm going to go ahead and go to the bar for about 3 days, go on this bender, and then I'm going to be back. No, because in that time, you can have inhibition control and do something or say something that takes whatever you were working on, and all that shit will fall apart. And next thing you know, you're like, I have to start over. Yes, you do, because that's how that goes. Any other questions before we move on to our learning for today? So it is definitely a direct correlation. And that's why I'm so many thousands and thousands and thousands of days in, and I've had things happen in health and personal and everything else. So when people start saying, you don't understand. You don't understand that. All right, bet. So does that mean you're stopping? Because it sounds like an excuse to me. That frequency on that excuse is so high. That whine, dogs can't even hear it. That's how high pitched that whine is. You want some cheese with it? A little accompaniment? Because either you're going to be personally accountable or you're not. And being personally accountable says, you know what? I'm tired of doing this, Dr. Donna. I'm exhausted. I'm going to be back. Okay, cool. And why are you exhausted from holding yourself personally accountable? I just like to understand that. Somebody told me on a live it's too exhausting to do all that. I find it more exhausting to be unaccountable. That's what I find. I find that unaccountable people are exhausting. I find that they are extremely draining. When you're in your frontal lobe, you get a little bit of cognitive overload, and then it goes into your working memory, and it's light. You have oxytocin, and it's a different exchange. But that amygdala, that nervous system, limbic system energy is just heavy and negative. So I find that. I have dissected this at all levels and angles. I know that I agree. Thank you. You're like, yeah, this ain't no fluke. She over here. looking like doggone got a crime scene board. Like, what in the world? And then if you do this and you connect this to that, and then this is this and this and this and that. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have. All right. So we're going to go into learning. So if you go to, you're already on my website, just go back to the home page. So if you just click back, because I forgot what button you push, but you're going to your choices. Never mind. You can just click your choices. I forgot about that. I'm so used to looking at my website on my phone. When I look at it on my tablet, I'm like, where are my buttons at? I am definitely an avid phone user. Tablet, I'll get to my computer when I get to it. It's time for me to get a new computer. And I'm like, maybe if I just get an iPad with a keypad. And I'm like, yeah, but I use apps, but then you got to do that. So it's on its last leg. And we'll see how it goes. Anybody that has a tablet that uses a keypad versus a computer, let me know your thoughts. You can send me a message and tell me the pros and cons of it, because I really don't use my computer that often, but I do need it for certain things. So you're going to your choices on the website, and these are your choices. And most of you are in challenges or have been in challenges, and so you understand what is here. Now, the purpose of me going over this is not for me to tell you what challenge to get into. What I am saying is, here are the reason why it's your choices. So part of the reason why it's called your choices and not services or offerings or any of that, and I've used various versions of that, is that it's your choice to hold yourself personally accountable. That's number one. So it's your choice. That's why you have to say yes, that you're choosing this. It's your choice to sign up. So the Real Leader resources, this came, if Linda is still on here, I used to put the Real Leader resources with the challenges, and it was too much happening. People asked for it, requested that it be separate. So it is now separate. And the Real Leader resources help you with your working memory, and it's consistent. It's every 30 days, you renew every 30 days, and you just keep learning new information. So it's independent of anything else. Do I recommend you do Real Leader resources and a challenge at the same time? Absolutely not, because I loaded the Real Leader resources up now, and you will not be able to do both. Nola's doing both, but she's different. She's got my genes in her. So that's not going to work for people just now starting out. You will lose your doggone mind. You will lose your doggone mind. So then you have the 30-day personal accountability challenge. Now, this time last year, it was a yes and no challenge. And a yes and no challenge, some people liked it, but behind the scenes, it was a shit show. So it went away because it was not effective. I replaced it with the personal accountability challenge, and I'm here to say that more people have a better success rate of it, and the things that I'm receiving on the daily are showing improvement when you do your 10, 20, and 30 day. Now, your question that people have asked is, why is it 30 days? Because it takes 21 days to form a habit. Those other 9 days are sealing it in. Normally what happens on the 21st day of any challenge, there's a breakthrough for you, and I will see it. If you are in a video challenge, I will see it. The difference will click for you. If you are in a personal challenge, I will see what happens, and you will feel it and not know that that's what's happening, but that's what's actually happening. And then the other 9 days are just for you to seal the deal. Now, why do you have to do a 10-day, a 20-day, and a 30-day? Because these are your choices. You signed up for this, and you need to start self-reflecting. So the 10-day, 20-day, and 30-day is for you to sit back and say, okay, well, what happened? Because I have participated in programs, and there is no assessment. Then you finish, and you're done. There's no follow-up. Sometimes there's certificates, sometimes there isn't, and that was it. And you kind of go, well, that was that. So the 30-day personal accountability challenge is there because that's your initial, hey, let me get used to doing these challenges. And then you move on to a 30-day daily challenge. And I have that. It's in your daily. It's 2 different playlists. You get to do it in your daily when you're in Real Leader resources as well. But that's just for you to start researching and having conversations with other people so you can talk about something other than what's being thrown at you day in and day out. So it's all these interesting topics that you would have never had a conversation with somebody about before, ever. Things you're like, I didn't even know that. Wow, did you know that? Did you? And now you're interacting with people around you in a different way, so it helps you to communicate effectively. Now, the 30-day turnaround challenge and the 30-day turnaround risk challenge, poll questions. So all 3 of these challenges are video challenges. So you watch a video and then you do something based upon that. So now you're posting on social media. People like those, people don't like those. And quite frankly, I don't care because you actually need to start being able to deal with trolls, deal with people saying things to you that might not be the best, because you are holding yourself personally accountable and other people, and you are not allowing people to attack you. And it also gives you the ability to start using different social media platforms and becoming one with technology, because technology is not going anywhere. So those challenges are there for you to now publicly say, I'm holding myself personally accountable, and here are the things that I'm working on. And you have to learn how to do all these different things that you wouldn't have necessarily learned how to do. Some people do well in those video challenges and it's nothing for them. And then other people are like, I got to do it again. And I got to send a link and I got to keep it on my social media channel and all of that. But it's allowing you to take a risk, challenge yourself, become technically competent. So there are all these other micro skills and principles of real leadership that you have to do in order to make those challenges. And yes, everything is still due by 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so I can watch it before I go to sleep. Then next are turnaround tactics. Turnaround tactics are things that you want to stop, start, or continue, and you get answers in 24 hours. That's it. You say, this is what I'm working on. How do I do it? And within 24 hours, I'm telling you links and everything else that you do. Bada boom, bada bing, you're done. So that's what that's for. And then you get into the real things that used to be here, that have been here the longest, and that's RL 365, which just stands for Real Leadership 365. And that's you holding yourself personally accountable for 365 consecutive days. So you end up doing 12 different 30-day challenges and summarize it in those last 5 days. That's what a drop-off rate is. Whew. Yeah. And then in order for you to do RL Advanced, which is something that you pick 1 to 12 things that you want to work on, you have to have done RL 365. It's not going to work. You try to jump on RL Advanced before you do RL 365, you are going to fail miserably. And then the final one is RL Beyond, which takes you past the project that you had when you were advanced. And at this point, you are gone, doing great. So if you think about the RLs, RL 365 is a bachelor's degree, RL Advanced is a master's degree, and RL Beyond is a doctorate. Yes, so that's what that is. So now you understand why it says your choices. Now you understand the reasoning and the strategy behind all of them. And literally with the RL programs, you gonna clutch your pearls, Kevin, you select your price for RL 365. And then you'll say, well, Dr. Donna, why is everything so inexpensive? For 2 reasons. And it might even be 3. Because people have said, well, it costs too much. Well, it costs too much. That's a lot of money. Okay, cool. It's $30. And on the ones that's a year, you pick the price. Because what I know is what's better for you is to actually complete the year. That's what I'm looking at. When is the drop off, or can you complete the year? And as I've mentioned before, when people start paying you 10 stacks, 20 stacks, 30 stacks, you start going back and questioning your authenticity, and you might let somebody do something that's unaccountable, because there's stacks on the line. Ain't no stacks on the line. $30, I can't even buy a wig with, and I'm not going to miss it. And so it allows everything to stay pure. It's like when you see those shows and they're like, we're just going to give the code away. Because we have had 13 unaccountable people on this live this morning, because in their communities, they don't have somebody holding themselves personally accountable. I just want to be able to navigate through the rest of my life without dealing with unaccountable people. That's going to matter more, because that's what's actually going to change the world. Everybody's like, give me money, give me money, give me money. Okay, how's that working? How's that working for people? A lot of people got a lot of money. Ain't changed shit. Got a lot of smart cars and got a lot of smart homes, and we still got unaccountable people in those smart cars, driving those smart cars with those smart homes, and these multi-trillion-dollar organizations and everything else. People is still peopling. So my objective is for that to change, and for people to look for the best case scenario. I live around unaccountable people. I don't have any unaccountable people in my life, and it's personally accountable. It's not accountable. It's personally accountable, because personal accountability's number one objective is best every day, day in and day out. So we have unaccountable neighbors. My subdivision, I have guest parking out here, and people do all kinds of things. And the only thing the homeowners care about is the fucking landscaping and trash receptacle bins being in by 6 p.m. on trash day. So yes, and that's why the number one principle of real leadership is to hold yourself and others personally accountable. That's how you get to critical mass. So what you do is you don't allow unaccountable people in your life. That's how that works. You could be unaccountable over there in Loserville. Go right ahead to the left. That's where it's located. But you cannot have unaccountable people in your life and think you're going to be personally accountable and we're just going to let them figure it out. No, because an unaccountable person, just like we've had 13 people come to my live today and pop off and they've gotten blocked, they're going to be unaccountable and it's negatively going to impact you, which is why I call them losers, which is why they're located in Loserville, because you're going to be losing something. They're a subtraction sign and a division sign because they're addicted to dopamine and endorphins and they need adrenaline and they need an adrenaline rush. So they're going to make you feeling bad makes them feel better. Them talking trash about you makes them feel good. It's a superiority and an inferiority complex on both parts, and everything is neurological. You have never been taught to hold yourself personally accountable because you haven't been taught, number one, how to use your brain. It didn't come with an owner's manual. And number two, you actually have to create new neural pathways to personal accountability because of negativity bias, which has been passed down for thousands of generations from our ancestors due to fight or flight responses. So that was a long-winded answer to your question, but it still was an answer nevertheless. So that's the purpose of the services. Any questions? And I'm saying services so that y'all will know what I'm talking about, but it's your choices. Okay, now you're still on the website. Go to the social media tab. We're going to read an article and get on out of here. And it's a quick one. So once you're on the social media tab, go down, scroll down midway to Medium. And let me know when you are on Medium. That is where I keep all my blogs/articles. So let me know when you are there. Thumbs up. Got it. So you went to the social media tab. You went to Medium. You clicked on Medium. And now you will see little photos to the right with titles to the left. And you're going to go to the article titled Used to Be's. Used to Be's. And you're going to click on it. Medium is going to tell you that it is a 1-minute read. And you will read it. And after you read it, you're going to do ... And then you're going to say what your takeaway is, your learnings, or thoughts that came to your mind. So read it, ... and then respond. That has to go in the other one. If you go to my website, theturnarounddoctor.com, and then you go to social media, and you go to Medium, the article is there, used to be's. So you would it requires a second device. Turnarounddoctor.com, the social media tab, scroll down to the word Medium, click on it, and the title of the article is Used to Be. It's a banner with 6 photos of me. So 1 minute read. It's really less than that, but Mediums, I don't think they have 30-second reads. I will say the banner, this is from a person that was actually doing graphics for me, so this banner has to be from 2016. I forgot what I used it for. Nola, maybe you can tell me. This made me think of how far I've come in life, the difference between being in my 20s versus 30s versus 50s. I agree with that. And that's the one thing that I will say is that young people are like, you just want to be young again. I'm like, no, I don't. Absolutely not. I'm not doing that shit again. I don't want to be 20 nothing. I don't want to be 30. I'm good. I just want to be healthy. I'm not trying to relive that. I like the amount of information that I have right now. Not at all. Y'all can have all of that. I don't have Meg knees, and I'm okay with that. I had Uncle Luke knees. Shake that, make that one leg up knees. I'm okay that those years are behind me, gone, and I'm quite happy. Okay, Regina, you said I have changed and recognized that being afraid and not doing these things kept me limited and not growing, not enjoying my life. I didn't know that staying afraid was because my brain was hijacked. I know, right? Ain't that amazing? Now you can actually do something about it. That's the whole point. It's like you thought this thing was just happening, just like with Nola, who thought I'm gonna always be disorganized. And her rooms are immaculate, her bathroom is clean, everything. Now the back of the truck ain't, her vehicle ain't, but don't trust no body putting handy person putting stuff together and their car is clean and their tools are. You want that to be disorganized. It's like a hairstylist with a hair all messed up. Your hair gonna be wonderful. I think you used to use it for an email banner. Okay, you're right. That's what it was. You are correct. It was my email banner. Thank you for that, Nola. I agree. The mindset can make you do everything. I 100% agree with that concept. So, and I picked this banner on purpose because of the million shades that is Dr. Donna. Because if you think about in 2015, 2016, when everybody was still, and their LinkedIn photo was that stupid ass blue background, everybody had a profile like this, and some people smiled and some people didn't. This was cutting edge that long time ago. To have that on emails being sent to you, everybody else got their nice little signature block. They might have a photo at the end and this big giant banner with me with my doggone bedazzled t-shirt on and all of that. Yeah, that was definitely disruptive back then, 100%. Okay, so follow up so we can go ahead and to bring this puppy on around third base and slide into home. Yesterday, you had stay focused. So what did you do yesterday to stay focused? It's weird to hear me because Nola's phone, so I can hear me echoing with the delay. I'm like, how am I still talking? Okay. And again, ... for you to stay focused. We had to do a 7th Avenue couch at a house that was had been renovated, and the interior designer was there yesterday. She had a lot of different other people there. Well, not a lot, but 3 other companies bringing things and moving things and assembling things and all of that. So staying focused when other contractors are around is always interesting. And additionally, like I said, I spent about an hour and a half on TikTok because we had time. So I will go and see what people are posting because, again, I study human behavior. I am an educator, and I like to see what the brain is doing and why the brain is doing that. And I got a lot of education yesterday. And again, the one takeaway that I have is that people are really good at identifying what other people need to do. They got PhDs in it. They are trained. See, this is what's happening. And I know if it was me, here's what I would have blah, 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 blah. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't. I'm looking at you. You did. You not. That's not what would have taken place at all. And I find it interesting. This TikTok live this week was an hour. I thought it was going to be 30 minutes. And I talked about just personal accountability and how people stop at accountability. Personal accountability is not on the menu because it's best, and that would be exhausting if you had to pursue best every day. But guess what happens? And Nola can attest to this as well. When you have to pursue best every day, you don't have time to go look for worst. By the time you get home and get finished and get a meal and some relaxation time in, you don't even want to go look for worse. It's not even something that you're doing. You're not hunting rabbits. What are you doing? Elmer Fudd, I'm hunting worst. You're not doing that because you've done what you need to be very much fulfilled. So worst isn't on the agenda. It's not on the menu. And you're not looking to get somebody back, talk shit to anybody on the internet or anything else. You're like, I'm good. I'm 100% fulfilled. I went and did things that worked best for me today. And I challenged myself. I took some risk. And now I'm going to just go home and chill. Regina, you said I stayed focused by keeping my promise to my friend to see her student's business project and focused on helping my brother take care of personal business despite having to travel far and needing to. And you're going to come back with that. So personal accountability takes up all the rest of your idle time. You don't have any idle time. And quite frankly, you don't want any idle time. You're not interested in idle time. You're not like, oh, when I was younger, do a presentation in the evening. Yes, you did do your presentation the other day. And Manoj, I'm not quite sure I understand what it is that you're stating. The question is, what did you do yesterday to stay focused? So I do not understand that statement. So my point is that when you are focused on best, you get to do all these things that you never thought were possible because you're focused on best. So it's growing forward. Grow continually is one of the 74 principles of real leadership as well. And so there isn't this limited mindset. When you have a hijacked amygdala and when you are sitting in a bunch of biases, conformity bias, confirmation bias, cognitive dissonance, and all of that, it's all very fight or flight, but survival of the fittest. That's what's happening. But when you remove yourself from that nonsense and go just sit in your frontal lobe, unlimited possibilities. Okay, Kevin, you said I had to switch out flooring in a remodel, had to go outside and sit in my car to get peace and quiet to decide my color selection, had to find some alone time to stay focused. That makes perfect sense. And we get that because it gets very noisy when you're doing a remodel. And one thing I would say about the remodel is the doggone contractors don't clean up daily. Drives us bonkers. We clean up even if we're coming back tomorrow. We will leave and I have black work shoes and they will be covered in dust. And the other thing that is interesting about them is we end up building the furniture, especially the dining tables, and we'll come back and them mofos be the ate lunch on the table and sat in the chairs that we just made. And like, hey, sit down. Excuse me, why y'all didn't cover this up? Never mind. Come back cups, no coasters, nothing. They got napkins and takeout just sitting on the table in the chairs that we just made. Ooh, leaving boxes and you stepping over stuff, nails, won't even take it to the dumpster outside. Ooh, man, burns my bread, I promise you. Okay, Nola, I stayed focused and got the couch built, which a bunch of things happening. I practice 15 minutes of mindful focus on my breath. Got it. Yes, they will. They don't sit on the couches, but they will sit in a chair with their dirty contracting body. We don't even sit in the chairs. And we way less dustier than them. And then it's so funny, y'all, and then I'm going to go. So I have two wigs that I work with Nola. So one is straight. It's not this one because this is a satin headband. So they're old wigs or ones I just go to the beauty supply. I don't care how much they cost. I just need a headband so I won't pull my hair off when I'm at appointments. And so one is curly and one is straight. And yesterday I got ready to put the straight one on, and I was like, I didn't sweat this. What is all this on there? But we were at a person's house that was getting some work done in the bathroom, and they were outside in the driveway. And so the sawdust, the dust from them cutting the cabinets and everything was in the air. And so it had just literally covered up my whole headband and the front part of my wig. So yesterday I had to get a baby wipe and clean all of that off so I could wear my hair. Just dusty. It just won't do right. It looks good, but clean up. All right. I will send you, what's your email, Lola? If you, or message me, if you message me in LinkedIn, then I can send you the email, or I can check in LinkedIn. I think you still sent me the email. So if you tell me, send me a message and email in LinkedIn, and then I can do that. Okay. So the final thing for today is your real leader principle for today is that you're going to be honest. For the entire day, you are going to be honest. And if you say, well, Dr. Don, I'm already honest, we'll be more honest. Be honest, double down on your honesty. Double down on your honesty. That's what you can do. Okay. So you're going to be honest in the final question today. And Lola, if you just give me a thumbs up to know that you can message me in LinkedIn, because that's how we've been communicating, I can get that to you today. What did you learn today? What did you learn today? I learned that unaccountable people are still in the midst, and that the idle mind is an unaccountable person's workshop too. And I won't even call it a workshop, because in your workshop, you're actually building something. So I will say the idle mind is an unaccountable person's comfort zone. That's better to describe it. And Regina, if you could email me what you said again about the planets so I can research that for myself, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're saying what you learned, ... Help an old lady out. Help an old lady out. And Regina, don't tell me I'm not old, because you're older than me. I understand that. But I like saying that. I couldn't wait to turn 50 so I could tell Nola, if you do something to me, it's a crime against a senior. I'm going to call the authorities on you. I am AARP'd. I've got my colonoscopy and my glaucoma tested. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Do 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 do. Don't y'all think that was funny that Gangsters Are Us literally had that cornball stuff up there? Boring. How you talk about oxymoronic? Your name is Gangsters Are Us, and you literally using emojis. Oh my goodness. You can't make this stuff up. How you gonna be a gangster using emojis? How? Oh my god, boring. That is too funny. Trust builds confidence, which gives respect. Learn asking, and then what makes unaccountable people uncomfortable. Or is that something that you about to add to the Kevin repertoire? Is that what you're about to do, Kevin? And the Planet Parade, yes. So I'm gonna go do some research on that. They did lined up, and they are parading through, and people are cutting the fool. Oh my goodness! And then what? You know what I'm saying? Just like, get your look together. Practice your look, Kevin, when you get a chance. Gangster stuff is truly funny. Soft gangster. Linda's typing. Warm as soft butter. That's what I call them. Thumb thugs. Thumb thugs. I'm about to get you. How? You can't. You can't. Ooh, I'm scared. Ooh. Not the thumb thugs. No. Not them. Not at all. I'm telling you, my energy is different in person. I might be 5'6.5", 123. But I tell you what, it's different. It feels different. It definitely does feel different. Yes, I appreciate that, Regina. You know me, always looking for some new information because I will use it. And with the amount of sports information that Nola has, I use that information wrong all the time on purpose. I'm like, well, let me tell you how to do this. This is what I know for sure. Because it makes sense. Sometimes you got to speak sports. For real, for real. That's how it goes. Kevin, did you go back to NCAA to get your eligibility? Did you tell them you took a red shirt year and you wanted your time back? Put me in, coach. Put me in. Linda is coming around third. So yeah, so I learned that, here we go. Probably that I can't force someone to understand my POV on something even when trying to explain. Yes, you can't force it on there. The Crunchies pancake? Okay. Linda, I learned that personally accountable people have to feed the energy to sustain it off of other people, like those 12 who came in. They need a host. That is a great turn of phrase, Linda. They do need a host. Think about it like with aliens. So they got to have something to latch onto or it doesn't work. But the beautiful thing about being personally accountable is you can fly solo dolo and you don't need anybody else's energy to do anything else because you are empowering yourself and others. So you have your own, we're like solar panels. We're good to go. Solar panels aren't impacting anybody. They just sit on top of the house. The sun comes in, they store the energy for later. When it's not sunny, still able to provide electricity for the homes because they got all this stored power. So they literally are like a phone battery and they need to be charged. And so they're coming to try to plug in. They're trying to plug into you. They're looking for a host. And you tell them, no, I don't host that. I'm not the hostess with the most. I'm a ghosted. There you have it. So yes, that's why you have the cushy pancake. That's why you have your choice. That's why I'm not hard selling personal accountability. I'm not like, you need to be personally accountable. You need to be personally, because it's a choice. Because if I manipulate you, if I try to convince you to be personally accountable, it's challenging enough on its own. You're going to regress. You're going to relapse quick. So it has to be your choice. You have to be ready to become your best. And it's a slow process. Go slow to go fast. This is not something that's about, and look at us, and we got critical mass, and no, because you have a lot of neurological things that you have to do because it's happening up here. It's happening up here. It's not happening out here. It's literally you versus you. And I've said that in the past before. It is personally accountable you against personally unaccountable you. And one of y'all gonna win on a daily basis. You miss doing the work. Got it. Awesome. Great to hear that. So I'm going to say that again. When I say it's you versus you, it's you personally accountable you and you personally unaccountable you. So think about the Flintstones when that Martian, I forgot his name, was there. And it'd be good Fred and bad Fred sitting there. And now you looking back and forth at yourself. And you got to figure out, are you going to be personally accountable or personally unaccountable? And 99% personally accountable, being personally accountable is not being personally accountable. You have to be 100% personally accountable. And that's being responsible and accountable for all that you do and all that you fail to do. That's what it is. So and it's not, I'm not going to make mistakes or I'm not going to do something wrong. It's, I fucked that up. I'm bad. That was me. My bad. Because apologize when you were wrong is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. It's progress, not perfection. And it's best. And I promise you, one thing's for certain. When you start holding yourself personally accountable, you're going to put your foot down. You're going to keep it down. And ain't nobody going to be able to talk you out of nothing. You be like, nah, man, you being unaccountable. Your amygdala is hijacked. You got confirmation bias. You got conformity bias. You're going to start speaking to all that unaccountability. And that's what's going to happen. And next thing you know, people going to be like, well, damn, what you doing? I'm being personally accountable. You want to be personally accountable? Come on. If you don't, kick rocks. Because you are self-sustaining. As Linda said, don't be no host for them. Don't be no host. Sound like you need to go find another host because this ain't it. This ain't it. Keep your boundaries up, keep your perimeter strong, and let them sorry jokers go back to where they belong. I am Dr. Donna. I will be back tomorrow, God willing, higher power in the universe. And I hope the planets get this parade over quick, because I don't need to have 13 more unaccountable people on my live tomorrow. They can go back looking for a host. Y'all can take it back. Get out of the parade. Disperse. Keep it moving. I was an MP. Move along. Break up this doggone parade. Because no, don't start none, won't be none. I ain't got time to be, I ain't hit the button on YouTube that many times ever. Like, this is absurd. Move on. Move along. Keep it moving. There's nothing to see here. Especially not for you with your hijacked amygdala. You ain't gonna be able to process it anyway. Okay. I will be back, God willing, higher power in the universe tomorrow. As always, thank you for your time. I do appreciate you participating in this thing called personal accountability. I learn something new every day from you, which only helps me to give you back to you, which you gave back to me. So it's a reciprocal relationship. It is 100% versus 100%. It's not no, let's go half on some personal accountability. Let's go all in, go above and beyond. And you are going to experience things that you have never, ever thought were possible in your life. So again, today is be honest. And if you find yourself, now use tact. Don't be tactful, but be honest. Okay? Be honest. Be authentic. It's number one thing. And I will be back tomorrow. Okay? Take care. Adios.